my guys. So we are going to work on a pretty cool little utility tool. It's called REMBG, that's what I call it. It actually stands for Remove Background, so it's REMBG. Pretty cool little thing here. So you can take a photo like this, and oh hell, where'd that go? You turn it in, go ahead, get it italicized, get the stuff removed from it. Here's a sample page of the kind of stuff, you put in a car there, it pulls the car out. Got an elephant here, you see it's removing the background. It's pretty nifty in that it does a few different things. Here's a bear, obviously remove the background from. Can also remove the give you just a mask. So this is kind of cool, like if you're doing projects, you can put something back behind that. Of course, you could put swirly colors or the universe or whatever there. So that really helps. A lot of times when I'm working with generative stuff, you'll create something and you want to do something with it, but it's put like a gradient in the background, or it's just difficult to get rid of the background. This software here actually gets rid of that pretty easy. So good tool to have your arsenal. It's not a difficult install. We have to follow our steps as usual, but I've also added some tools here for us as well that we'll be able to use, that I'll be able to walk you through here and show you how to do, so make this a little bit easier. This is actually a command line software, so most of the stuff you're going to be doing on typing the commands, but we have actually again got the instructions up here for you. Where'd that go? So this comes once it's installed, this actually screen will pop up and show you everything you do. It's actually pretty powerful what you can do, but again you got to type this out on the command line unless we're using the tools that I've given you. So tools don't have everything in it that you can do on the command line, but this is going to get you basically going, getting them backgrounds out of there and creating all sorts of good stuff. So let's go ahead and just jump into this. So what we're going to do, we're going to go to our internet as usual. Here we go. We're going to go to our internet as usual. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for REMBG, REMBG. We're going to type in GitHub. Whoops. So here it is. It's going to pop up this one. REMBG is a tool to remove images background. We're going to click on that bad boy. And we're going to bring this up, okay? So we scroll down here. You're going to see the installation is really not that difficult. You're going to be fine with your your Python 3.10.11, so that's good. And really all we're going to end up doing is installing this, but we have to do a few things first. So let's go ahead and we're going to pop over to our command line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a directory. You want to start this off in whatever directory you're going to want this to be in. I'm going to put it in a temp directory. So I'm going to type mkdir, which means make directory. Okay, and I'm going to type temp, and there you go. Boom, she's there. So now I'm going to type cd temp, and that means change directory temp. We click into there. Now what we're going to do is we need to git clone into here. So if you don't have git installed, you need to go to the internet and just type in git download, and then you'll get that going. You can watch the video on how to install that. But let's pop back over here, and what we're going to do here is, it doesn't actually say in the instructions. Some of this you just have to get used to it and realize, oh well, of course I'm going to need this or that. But what it doesn't tell you is that we're going to have to git clone this directory. So let's just go up to the top here. We're going to copy the directory. It's going to create a folder. Usually when you git clone something, it creates a folder by whatever this last of that is. So anyway, so we highlight this whole thing. We're going to press Control-C to copy that. And now let's pop back to our terminal. And I'm just going to hit Control-V, and that's going to paste. Oh, well, first I'm going to actually type git clone. So git clone. Then we're going to pop that bad boy in there. Hit Enter, and it's going to put it there. Okay, easy peasy. Okay. So we'll just wait for that to get done. Okay, now if I type dir, that stands for directory, that's going to show us that the folder is there. So we can type cd rembg Now we're in the directory. Okay. So, and then if we type dir again for directory, we can see what's in there. But we don't need to see what's in there right now. Let's just type cls. Okay. Actually, I'm looking at something here, but yeah, let's type cls. Okay. So now, if we go back to the internet there, we'll grab the command we need to install. But remember, first we need to set up our virtual environment. Okay, so we need to make sure we have our mini conda installed. So you can always just type conda and see if it brings up something like this. If it does not bring this up, that means you don't have your mini conda set up, and you need to go watch the video on how to get that set up. But we do have it. So what we're going to do is go ahead and create our virtual environment. So we're just going to type conda create. We can go -- name. So we're telling it that we want to create a virtual environment, and we're telling it we want to give it the name. What's the name going to be? We'll call it REMBG. Okay. Now, because I don't need any special Python, I am not going to go ahead and bother putting that in. Normally, you could just type in whatever Python you want, but it's unnecessary since we already got on our base system the Python. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter, and it takes a minute here, or a moment. I'm not going to go, well, let's go ahead and we'll remove the existing environment so we can do it together. So I already have it installed on there, so if you already have it, it'll tell you that, and you can just go no and just use the existing one. So it takes just a minute here for this to pop up, and then it's going to ask us to confirm. Conda's a little bit slow, so okay, here we go. Proceeds. We're going to hit Y for yes. Okay, so there we go. Now we've created our virtual environment, but a virtual environment is no good unless you activate it. So let's type conda activate, and we're going to activate REMBG. Okay, so now we can go ahead and install our stuff. Remember, virtual environment is like if you're painting and you have a table and you put some paper over the table, don't you, or some clear thing so that paint can get on that, but it ain't going to actually get on the table. Then when you get done, you can just remove it, throw it out. We're doing the same thing with our base environment here. Okay, so we're back to the internet. So instructions are pretty darn easy. So we're going to grab this one, the pip install with the CLI, and that means for the command line, so that we can use this off the command line. So just going to copy that. Then we're going to go back over to our here, and all we got to do is paste that bad boy in. So we just want to hit enter. Okay. Now again, mine's already downloaded all this stuff, so it'll take a little bit of while. It's going to download Torch. It's going to download all this other stuff. Now, normally we would want to go check our Torch to make sure we have the right thing, but this one already has it all set up for us. So it'll take a little bit of time. And okay, don't worry about these dependencies. A lot of times these dependencies at the end, they're irrelevant. If it's not working, you need to pay attention to it, but a lot of times it doesn't matter because like this one is actually coming from a different software that this doesn't even depend on. So anyway, here we're done here, CLS, okay. Now if we type REMBG, you're going to see that it's going to load up our help thing here. So we'll give it a second. Oh, so actually it does take a little bit of time. The first time you run this, it takes a few moments because it's downloading the models. So do expect it to sit, and it could sit anywhere from 2 minutes to 5 minutes depending on how fast your internet is. So we'll let this just sit for a second. I'm going to put this on pause, and we will be right back while the model downloads. All right, so there it's finished up and it's loaded, and then it's showing us the different things that we can use with this. So it loaded up and it said, hey, you didn't give it any parameters. But that's good because that shows us that it's working. So let's go back to the internet here, and let's just do a quick, easy one here. So let's say here, remove the background from a local file. So what we're going to do, we're just going to copy this. Okay, so this is going to call the program. The I is telling it to look for the image, and then this is the path. This is going to be our input path. This is going to be the actual image that we're going to remove the background from, and then it's going to output it to here. Okay, so if we get rid of this path 2, it's just going to put it in the same folder. So that's what we're going to end up doing. Let's click this little over here. It's going to copy that. Now let's go back to here, and we're going to paste this in, but we're going to have to change this. Okay, so first of all, we're going to just go get the arrows out of here. Let's go ahead and let's give this a folder name, Outputs. Okay, so that way it's going to put it in this folder, but it's going to put it into another folder called Output, so it'll be easier to find. And whatever we create, it's going to call it output.png. Now we're going to have to change this. So what we're going to do here, let's pop over to our Windows Explorer. Okay, and let's go over and let's find a picture to use. So I'm going to click here on my pictures. And let's grab this one of the bear. There we go. Let's click this. So I'm going to right click on this. You can't see it, but it pops up here and it says copy as path. So I'm just going to click on copy as path. And we're going to pop back over to here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all of this. And we're just going to go Control V. Okay. We've got, so that's our input. And then here's our output. So let's go ahead and click that. And this will take just a second. All right. Okay, so it didn't like the output. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to make a directory. I'm going to type mkdir outputs. So that's going to make directory. Okay, now we're going to run that again. I'm going to hit the up arrow twice. Get back here now. We'll give this a go. Okay, so now it's done. So let's go over here and we'll go cd outputs. So I'm changing directory to go there. If I type dir, well, you'll notice that it didn't put it there. So let's find out where it put it. See where, if I made a mistake here. Oh no, there it is. The mistake was thinking that I made a mistake. It's right there. So we're going to type output.png. So now if I'm going to have to get this up to a place you can see it. You can just type the name in, output.png. Okay. But now I just got to make sure you can see it. So let's change this really quick so you can see what we did. Just one moment. And hold on just a second. Okay, and there you go. You can see that it took the bear and it removed the background. Okay, very cool. So going back over to our going back over to our internet here, if we look at our directions, you'll see there's all sorts of stuff we can here. So here's remove from a remote image. So you can actually go on the internet and you find your image, and you can just follow this directions here, paste it into this part, and it's actually going to download the image and then remove it. So that's kind of nice. Okay, and you've got all this different stuff you can do. One of the cool things you can do is, well, here you go. You can remove the background from all images in a folder. So if you've got a project and you're needing to get the backgrounds removed from a bunch of them, just put them all in a folder and follow the directions here on your command line, and it will go ahead and do it. And then there's this other one that's just really cool, where you can actually give it what do you call an alpha matting. So this comes in handy. Is this over here? I guess not, but it comes in handy when you're trying to use it as a transparency thing. So even though it's removing the background on these things, it's still giving it like a white background or a black background. So when you put an alpha mat, when you throw it into a program like your GIMP program, which we should probably do a video on what GIMP is for you, but when you're using GIMP, you'll throw it in there and it's already transparent. So that means if you put it on top of another photo, the other photo will automatically show through it, which is very cool feature. Okay, so that's all done on the command line. That's how you have it installed. That was not that difficult to install. Of course, every time you need to run this, you have to make sure that you are in the folder and that you're using your conda activate to get that done. Okay, and then you run it. So we're going to pop over here and I'm going to show you the one-click installer we've created, which makes it a lot easier as well. So all you got to do is you just click here and extract the files. It's going to pop up these, and all you got to do is double click on install. Okay, then what that's going to do is actually going to set up your virtual environment for you. It's going to, you'll still have to download the models the first time you run it, but it gets everything set up for you. And then all you got to do is click on this run everything. Oh, by the way, when you first install it, it's going to bring up a window with all of your command line instructions, so you can still use this on the command line. But then you can go ahead and click run, and it's going to bring up a window like this. Okay, so this isn't the swankiest in the world, but it certainly works. And from here you can go ahead and put in your single image. It's going to go ahead and show up down here. You can apply a mask to it, so that's again you just get something that looks like let's see here, looks like this. Okay, so that's, you can get your mask. That's the same thing over here. Also does a folder, so if you want to put in a folder here, you can go ahead and get all of that done. All you do is put it in there and then click submit. You can actually apply mask and matting to the entire folder as well. So you can do one, you can do none or one or all of those. And then lastly, we have the web image in there. So if you go ahead and go to the internet and grab a URL, you can just paste that in there. It's going to give it a random name and it'll create it. And then we've gone ahead and put a little open output folder. Can you see that there? Yeah, you can see it right here. That you can go ahead and click, and that will take you to the directory where your images are. So obviously a lot easier to do this using the one click with the tools, and but you can still do everything on the command line, which is very cool. And actually we'll put a button on here so to make sure you can always open up your instructions easily as well. So so that's available over on the Patreon site over here. So if we just go over here to patreon.com/cognibuild, you can go over here and you can find it under collections. Okay, and you'll click on collections and you'll see member only stuff. You'll see all sorts of good stuff we've got here. We've got Open Sora, and this actually sets up your Windows subsystem for Linux and Live Portrait and all sorts of good stuff that you can do over here. It's like $5 to join as a member, and then you get all this cool software. But at the same time, I have just shown you how that you can get this going on your own and just run everything off the command line if you want to as well. Very cool tool, saves you time. Like I said before, it's not a small thing to remove backgrounds from an image, okay? Because usually you have to use what's called the magic wand, and it picks up all the same color in the background, removes it. But when you have like extra objects in the back, you've got like thousands of different color shades that it's very difficult. And this tool, boom, boom. So great one to have in your arsenal. I think you're going to enjoy it. If you have any questions, hit me up on the Discord. Be happy to help walk you through some of this stuff. And as usual, yo, you stay good, and we will catch you later on the other side. Yo.